the use of reverse innovation theory and in order to develop projects for water management, collaborative workshop to introduce a methodology to develop projects for safe water in developing countries. This talk will be presented by Dr. Luis Fernando Barth from Center of Science and Technology of Antioquia.
Okay, I want to show you some concepts that from CTA we use in order to build or introduce some projects regarding water. I'm trying to make quickly in order to mention the main. Sorry. We already studied transdisciplinarity that Mike offered in. That's okay. Mike offered in his documents, and I think that is a good way in order to introduce the innovation concepts regarding water. First of all, I want to present some ideas about innovation in water sector. What is innovation water sector? What's the approach from customer value co-creation that I think that is a good way in order to construct the projects. We review some ideas about the innovation in the last decade in the water sector, various kinds of innovation research and innovation itself, and a comparison to other level of analysis like research and development departments, for example, inside the organizations, and our proposal from CTA in order to make innovation live. A principle, in comparison to other sectors during the last 3 decades, innovation in front of the researchers appear to be reluctant to embrace the discourse and culture of innovation in terms of sectoral policy and strategy. That means that researchers are reluctant in order to obtain from methodologies of innovation a new kind of approach in order to go to the communities. Traditionally, we have 2 sectors inside water sectors. One regarding water utilities, that is that we must know that we have in our cities and our towns, that it's related to the provision of the service in order to give water and sanitation services. And the other great sector is the technology suppliers and equipment manufacturers for water utilities. That is artifacts that are used in this kind of process, but with a special group of developments inside the water sector. According to the United Nations, we have inside the water sector 3 main functional categories. One, first of all, water resources management that includes integrated water resources management and ecosystem restoration and remediation. That is a special category that is important specifically for the people that are something like that invest, for example, in ecosystems, or trying to decide what kind of governance, what kind of methodologies or models we can use in order to protect our ecosystems. The second one is the water infrastructure, that is regarding the construction, operation, and management of water-related infrastructure for the management of the resource, as well as the provision of water-related services. And the third is the water service that comprise the provision of the services such as water supply, sanitation, and wastewater management for domestic use, industrial use, and other services, for example, in front of the energy sector, agriculture, or industrial sectors. I want to mention a special idea that Aderbach in 1994 introduced regarding water sector product. Then they link process and services that are an special element in the water sector product, and it start to think about process innovations that generally refers to changes in order to several aspects related to production activities, such as tools, machinery, layouts of production systems. Second one, innovation in production processes have generally been enabled by changes in discrete parts of the production layout. This is more related with the industrial production. And in the third, the most processes innovation at the production system level in any given sector is incremental and primary focus on the optimization of costs for consumer that use low-cost technologies or something like that. And in some aspects in front of the products and the quality of performance of high-end products. That's another dimension of the innovation that is regarding what happened inside the research and development departments inside organizations. And we have three main principles. Innovation research focus on the organization. This concerns as organization capacity to quickly learn and adapt the changes in its operating environment, the capacity of source, generate and integrate resources into new knowledge and knowledge that would affect over its performance. A little bit companies inside water sectors think that. Second one, innovation research conducted at sectoral or industrial level of analysis is closely related to industrial economy research approaches that only for economic results in mind. And the third is like a landscape level of analysis that has sought to identify governance leverage to best devise strategies and policies to support growth and sustainability. This is a kind of innovation that today we have in order to manage all elements of the ecosystems. Of course, water as a main actor in the ecosystem. Today now, we have new approaches regarding water-related activities. One of these, the effects of ICT-based innovation for water-related activities are like to extend much beyond current improvements in sensing, monitoring, and smart metering, citizen observatories, hydroinformatics, and modeling and robotics. Second one, digitization will continue to affect processes related to the management of water quantity and quality. And the second one that is it's a main focus today regarding Industry 4.0. You know that the academics has teach about all our industrial era has like a phases or something like that. Maybe understand this different, but today we use Industry 4.0 in order to reshaping all the industrial and academic sector, trying to combine a convergence of regarding sensor technologies and robotics, and what is the way to these technologies transform all sectors. That's my conclusion, and I want to invite you to participate in a small workshop that we use this kind of papers. I want to present that, but I want to close our presentation in order to point regarding 2, 3, 4 aspects that we have taken into account in order to design and decide what communities and what results and what projects we can develop. One of the first is trying to think about today there is a transition towards water smart and water wise technologies. Trying to introduce that the water is inside the territories. No, it's not a service, it's not a resource that is out of the territories. It is important because, for example, in some cities, like in Colombia, for example, Bogota or Medellin, take water from a regional level and goes to the city, yeah? But the regional level doesn't have the opportunity to express, to decide if they want it, yes? And we use the water of other territories, and I think that we need a different level, like Mike said previously, in order to think about what is the best way in order to put the communities inside the project and inside the model, and try what is the best way that they accept this kind of limitations. Second one, the reverse innovation theory. You know that most successful companies trying to introduce solutions in the world today is using this kind of theory that is easy to present. It is trying to think products, processes, services, models, thinking about companies that are, countries that are developing countries, trying to think about the necessity of the people inside these developing countries, and trying to design this product, taking into account that this kind of minds, and goes to developed countries. Yeah, this is a reverse theory, because during last 80, 90 years, the organizations and industry in general think in the contrary, trying to design, trying to decide what products produce, what services create, but thinking if they are only the market. And there is another kind of markets that in developing countries we have. The third element is taking into account innovation as a creativity, as a good way to create new models for water services. And finally, I have to point attention in the social innovations. You know that maybe yesterday we discussed, and with Mike maybe mentioned previously too, that is important to take into account that what the communities needs, and trying to co-create with the communities the solutions. Yes, you asked previously about what learned from yesterday, and maybe it is that there is no solution that you put in the communities if you don't discuss with them these kind of solutions. Okay, thank you. We have here, Lida. No sé si quieres. Yes, we have three. Yeah, we need three groups in order to work with this. Maybe with tables. I propose that the. Okay, we have three groups, and I propose 3 topics. One in relation with water service. Sorry. We have three groups, and I propose 3 topics, one each per group, and I propose 3 topics. One, knowledge and science. Second one, technologies, and third, governance. And I need a volunteer for governance. Who wants to select governance? You? Okay. Governance. Okay. Knowledge and science. Knowledge and science. You? And the other one, technologies. Okay? Okay. You need to think about the categories that you have in the sheet, and in front of this topic, yeah, and ya lo pudimos, Lucas, ya lo tenemos. No. Okay, I'm trying to explain here because I think this is easy. The idea is to trying to put the deposits. You start in the left column, taking into account the limitations of you have in the left column. That is all in relation with reverse innovation. Yeah, and you have 3 categories up. Yeah. That you have, sorry, we have it. Okay, we have 3 limitants here that is not in relation with this line. You can take into account these limitations in order to define what you put here, yeah, but it's not in the horizontal way. Okay, and we have 3 pillars here that we need to complete in order to decide what initiative you decide to start, what changes you have in mind in order to change the ecosystem, and in the third, what is the effects or outcomes that you are looking for. Okay? You have here incomes that I previously decide in order to ordinate the exercise, and it is important that you have this in mind in order to ordinate all the exercise, because you need to decide first initiatives, yeah, and what you connect the initiative with the result or outcome, yeah, and this is in the middle. What is the way that you want to propose to achieve, or the outcomes? Lida? No? Ok. Mira, tenemos unos determinantes que están relacionados con los principios de la innovación inversa.
Ok, determinantes.
Que te tienes que tener en la cabeza.
Ok, esto aqui são os determinantes. Eu vou fazer a tradução em português.
Sí, que tú tienes que tener en la cabeza porque estás en el campo de la innovación inversa.
Nós precisamos ter na cabeça no campo da inovação. inovação, ok?
La innovación inversa.
Inversa, ok?
Ok. Tenemos 3 categorías que debemos completar.
Aqui temos 3 categorias que a gente precisa completar.
Yo sugiero que definan primero la primera
La idea es que esta se faça primeiro
y que luego,
e que depois
después, puedas encontrar información en relación con la iniciativa que estás proponiendo para llenar los otros 2 campos.
ok, que depois se pense pouco para que se puedan preencher estes 2 campos em função das ideias que se colocaram aqui.
Ok. Y por último, tú debes dibujar líneas que relacionen la iniciativa con el cambio, con los efectos provisionales y con los resultados finales.
Depois a gente tem que, em função das ideias que a gente tem aqui, nós temos que colocar linhas que relacionem cada dos tópicos que a gente colocou aqui para que se encaixem numa destas ideias aqui.
Sí. Puede que no utilices todos.
Puede ser que no se utilicen todos.
Puede que solamente utilices algunos.
Ou somente alguns, só dependendo do caso.
Ok, y les recuerdo que cada uno va a pensar en su tópico. Es decir, Science and Knowledge es uno desde la visión de la ciencia y el conocimiento, otro desde la visión de las tecnologías, o sea, aplicado a tecnologías, y otro aplicado a gobernanza del agua.
Tenemos 3
We are going to explain 2 examples for that, maybe to solve any doubts. We have 2 examples in governance and in technologies. The example in governance is about, I'm going to explain the NBS. Okay. The example in governance is about, the initiative is about water resource monitoring. It's a methodology, a community methodology of water resource monitoring. What we want to expect in terms of change with that methodology, that the community involved in the water resource, in care of water resources, is an example, is a simple example. And the results, the outcomes are to obtain, to get less contaminations, or to increase the quality of water, to increase the water supply, and to improve the conditions of the watersheds. And, y no sé cómo decir eso, alerta temprana alerta temprana, like the gestion, the management risk, for example, and to improve the management risk in the environment. And the other example about the technology is we think in a living lab in nature-based solution. You know, the living lab is like a space that you can to work with other stakeholders, with different stakeholders, and in open innovation and social innovation to get solutions for a problem. And if, for example, you think in a living lab in MBAs for an mining industry, you can, inside industry development, yes, you can change, you can get some changes. For example, you can build knowledge between all these stakeholders to improve the all the solutions that the industry needs to improve, to restore the ecosystems. So we can get outcomes like ecosystem restoration and environmental best practices and so on. Is clear or not? Or maybe?
I do not understand the inside industrial development. Inside is like local industrial development.
Yes, you know, the nature-based solutions is solutions that you get observing the nature. Yes. For example, wetlands, artificial wetlands to treat, for example, the wastewater from the industry with with trees, with plants. Okay, for example. So. The industry has a necessity. The enterprise has a necessity that want to solve. The technology is based in nature. Yes. So you have the need of the industry. You have the technology, in this case, from the nature, and what you want to expect is changes in the ecosystem to improve the environmental, okay, but always a benefit for the industry, but almost the benefit of the ecosystem, okay.
We need to close the activity here because Mike has another presentation, important presentation, but I want to do some comments. One, that's not there is no important to obtain results in this exercise. This is only to practicing a new methodology. That's not the idea to obtain a project here or from this exercise. That's the important is the methodology in order to build, in order to think different in front of our communities and the problems and solutions that we as a research, as a scientist, as a industry can help. Second one, you know that sometimes it's difficult to explain a methodology and maybe in other language, but the real interesting thing here is that what I don't know if you think about or feeling, but how you think as a group. I think it's different the way that if you always are thinking alone, or if you are in a group, in a transdisciplinary group, in order to integrate different knowledge, different experiences, different approaches that can collaborate in order to create new models, new methodologies. This is the way that the CTA produce our projects, and that's the integration in front of the community. For example, we have a special project that where Catalina participated, named Plan Quebradas. This is a construction with the community in front of the governance of a special, I don't know, let's say a small river inside the city, for example. How do you integrate, for example, community industry that has in this territory and public entities in order to coordinate all the water resources? Thank you.